Chapter 1: The Guardian of the Bridge. When the Persian army marched through the narrow pass of Thermopylae, the Greek states gathered their most disciplined swordsmen, the Spartans, who stood behind a low stone wall as a human dam against a colossal wave of soldiers. The story is known to all. King Leonidas and his 300 men held the ridge for 3 days, buying time for the Greek forces to prepare a counterattack. The battle, though ending in defeat for the Spartans, became a timeless testament to courage, discipline, and, most importantly, unshakable belief in the face of a chaotic world. The unbreachable wall was not built of stone alone. It was forged by the Spartans, training, sense of duty, and a shared conviction that every stride down the path mattered. Their belief was a compass that remained true despite thunderous enemy fire. That same compass can serve anyone who faces daily uncertainty, whether the pressure of deadlines, the complexity of client demands, or the turbulence of market shifts. Take the example of a young entrepreneur launching a tech startup. Every day there are new numbers, new features, new competitors. That entrepreneur can look to the Spartan example and ask, am I standing firm on my core mission even if the rest of my environment is chaotic? By setting a single, clear objective, perhaps delivering a minimum viable product within 6 months, they create a mental wall that buffers against distraction. When doubts arise, the entrepreneur references that mission, refocuses, and strides forward. The key lesson for today's world is that belief is a structure you construct day by day. It is built not on perfect predictions, but on repeated choices that reinforce your purpose. Create rituals, morning intentions, daily reviews, accountability partners that act as the stones of your personal Thermopylae, offering resistance to external chaos. Conclusion: the Spartan's lesson is simple. Unwavering belief makes you invulnerable. Even when the winds of doubt howl, a steadfast mind acts as a bridge, solid, unyielding, and ready to bear great pressure. Call to action. If you found this story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe to keep the fire of personal growth alive. Reflective question: what is one core belief you can anchor your daily grind to, regardless of the chaos around you? Chapter 2: Arjuna's Crossroads. During the great battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna, a warrior prince, faced a moral crisis on the battlefield. He could not bring himself to fight his own kin, which would mean facing his own uncertainty. Then came the voice of Krishna, his charioteer and spiritual guide, who urged him to move forward, to fulfill his duty, dharma, beyond personal attachment. This dialogue transforms the Bhagavad Gita into a playbook for unshakable self-belief, one that thrives even when the battlefield of life seems filled with fear. Krishna's message was straightforward. Do not let your mind wander from your duty. Action, performed without attachment to its outcomes, builds indomitable confidence. Arjuna, by understanding his responsibility as a kshatriya, would find his doubts receding and his path ahead becoming clear. For modern professionals, the Gita can translate into a workplace framework. Consider a marketing manager who is hesitant to launch a new campaign because they fear it might fail. Instead of being paralyzed by the outcome, they could reframe their focus. I am responsible for raising brand awareness, not the success rate of a single ad. By aligning work with a higher purpose, providing valuable content, connecting people, driving knowledge, the manager builds resilience. The moment doubt arises, the manager recalls the mantra of duty, not outcomes, thereby sustaining belief. The practical lesson is that belief anchored in an internal purpose is far sturdier than one dependent on external accolades. When outcomes blur, responsibilities don't. Conclusion: Arjuna's battlefield reminds us that the greatest warrior battles are often the ones fought inside. When belief rests on purpose, it does not waver. Call to action. If this inspired you, kindly like, share, and subscribe so we can continue exploring timeless wisdom. Reflective question: what is your core duty in the current chapter of your life, and how can realigning your focus on it reinforce your belief? Chapter 3: The Storm Within. Stoicism, as lived by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, teaches the power of the inner fortress. He wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake in the morning, think of the good things you owe to existence." The emperor did not let the external pressures of wars, diseases, or political upheavals dictate his inner state. Instead, he cultivated a calm mind, a storm within that was calm and clear. This internal calm is not a passive wish but an active practice. Marcus employed the technique of daily reflection, observing thoughts like visiting a city, separating the good from the bad and taking action accordingly. When his soldiers were being conscripted, he did not indulge in panic. He saw each conscript as a duty fulfillment and remained unaffected by the moral weight of warfare. Today, you can emulate this practice by setting daily journal prompts or guided self-reflective questioning. Take 10 minutes each night to evaluate. What did I accept without judgment? What did I resent? By creating an inner audit, you train yourself to recognize thoughts that are self-serving narratives and separate them from the core truth of your values. This process reduces emotional volatility and strengthens self-belief. Practical example: a project lead facing a product recall can pause, ask themselves, what have I done to prevent this? They can identify process failures, take responsibility, and move forward rather than becoming consumed by fear. That focus builds a steady belief rooted in action, not outcome. Conclusion: your internal storm is an unwelcome force only if you allow it to dictate. As Marcus did, train your mind to be the calm inside the hurricane. Call to action: if you found value here, share this script, like, and subscribe for more ancient lessons translated into modern practice. Reflective question: how might you redesign your nightly routine to cultivate a calm, unshakable mind? Chapter 4: The Mirror of Mind. An ancient Chinese parable of the bamboo and the stone tells of a bamboo sapling growing beside a sturdiest stone. The stone was unshaken by winds. The bamboo initially seemed fragile and weak, but as seasons passed, the wind blew hard enough to bend the bamboo. It flexed, didn't break, because it was rooted deeply in the soil and could flex in any direction. The stone stayed rigid, yet with no flexibility, it would have fractured had a strong earthquake struck. This story illustrates that flexibility is critical for stability. In the fast-moving tech world, a fixed plan often collapses under the weight of rapid change. A rigid mind holds on too tightly, while a flexible mind learns to bend with new information. In practice, this means staying open to feedback and being willing to pivot while keeping your foundational values intact. For instance, a product manager who builds a user experience can listen to early adoption data, see that a feature isn't resonating, and reallocate resources to more impactful solutions. Their core value remains: delivering user value. By bending, they avert the risk of collapse. Conclusion: like bamboo, your belief must grow resilient by adapting to the environment while still anchored in values. Call to action: if this resonates, kindly like, share, and subscribe for deeper explorations of ancient wisdom. Reflective question: identify one area where you might be too rigid. How can you flex without losing sight of your core belief? Chapter 5: Fusion of Fire and Water. Imagine a modern team that blends the Spartan mental discipline with the Bhagavad Gita's mindful action. They approach each project like the Spartan warriors: rigorous training, clear drills, disciplined execution. They also embody Krishna's guidance, performing work as an offering, focusing on duty rather than outcomes. This fusion creates a mindset where belief is both fire, burning passion, and water, steady, adapting. A case in point is the rise of agile development in software companies. The Agile Manifesto encourages iterative work and welcomes changing requirements, embodying flexibility while also demanding a disciplined sprint structure, mirroring Spartan readiness. At the same time, the notion of focusing on value rather than sprint success reflects the Gita's emphasis on duty. Thus, the team practices a holistic belief system. They are fire-bright, disciplined, and water-adapting. To embed this integration, try pairing a morning meditation to center yourself on purpose with a short sprint planning session to structure action. The result is a belief that does not crumble in chaotic times, but instead fuels resilient, purposeful action. Conclusion: the fusion of steadfast discipline and purposeful action creates an unshakable self-belief that can weather any storm. Call to action: if you found this synthesis compelling, like, share, and subscribe to help spread the power of ancient wisdom for modern excellence. Reflective question: how can you integrate disciplined routines with mindful purpose to strengthen your own unshakable belief? Philosophy Spotlight: Stoicism. Stoicism is the ancient philosophy of resilience, clarity, and inner freedom. In its simplest terms, it teaches that we cannot control outside events, but we can control our responses. Marcus Aurelius, a key Stoic thinker, explained this when he wrote, "The obstacle on the road becomes the road." For him, each setback was not a blockage but an opportunity to practice virtue and learn the path forward. Two timeless lessons from Stoicism that power modern success are: 1. Focus on what you can control. If market conditions shift, you cannot command the economy, but you can refine your strategy, upskill your team, and maintain ethical standards. This focus reduces anxiety and sharpens decision-making. 2. Embrace adversity as a chance for growth. When a project fails, reflect. What was the lesson? How can you apply it? This reframing turns failure into a pillar of belief, not a crack. Linking Stoicism to the theme of Spartan Stoicism meets Bhagavad Gita, we can see that both philosophies emphasize duty, discipline, and self-belief when confronting chaos. While Stoicism teaches that internal calm withstands external storms, the Bhagavad Gita adds that aligning action with purpose builds a belief that survives any outcome. Together, they form a robust framework. Maintain a disciplined mind, act with duty, and let belief thrive regardless of circumstance. Final thought. By combining the Spartan resolve with the Gita's purpose, we gain an unshakable belief that is disciplined yet fluid, controlled yet expansive. Adopt this integrated approach and step forward into any chaotic world with confidence, clarity, and calm. Thank you for following this journey through ancient wisdom for modern empowerment. Like, share, and subscribe to continue learning, growing, and building unshakable belief together.